Hey everyone, welcome to our next 10th edition battle report. We are playing today my Tyranids against some Thousand Suns. They are not here yet, they're on their way, but just filming now just to get ahead of things. We are doing a GT prep match, the Thousand Suns, a new player to the community. Again, our community continues to grow and it is fantastic. He will be attending the GT in our local area, the 1st to 10th edition. I unfortunately won't make it this weekend, got some family time planned. Away, so excited for that, but also excited to help one of my local community members prep, hopefully by giving a good game here and get kind of our first more competitive builds for the Tyranids underway. So hoping it plays well. A lot of units I'm very excited to see how they do. So I'm going to cover my list now, then we'll check out his and then check out the table and see what we're playing. So I have 2,000 points of Tyranids here, obviously invasion fleet. For my characters, I have Swarmlord, a Hive Tyrant, and I went with the stranglethorn cannon just for extra shots. I really don't like the D3 shots with the venom cannon. It's just, yeah. I'd rather go for the extra shots, maybe pop some marines or something. I don't know, we'll see. But he is the Warlord, that Tyrant there, and he has adaptive biology. I don't have any Tyrant Guard, as you're about to see, but I'm going to take that, just see how it does. We got Old One Eye, classic Old One Eye, the original. Coming out, we got deathleaper, Neurotyrant back again, who has alien cunning. That's a big one for Tyranids. I love that strat. Really gives a lot of flexibility, and especially where they've updated it now that it is 100% confirmed it happens after the first turn roll off. Before it was kind of like, maybe it doesn't. It's hard to tell, but confirmed. Good stuff. For my battle line, 2 units of 10 Gargs, because I love them. I got 1 game under my belt, and thus far, I really enjoy it. Right now, kind of on the cutting block. If I was to edit this list a bit, I may trim one of them, but honestly, I like the feel of 2 gargoyle units. They're fast, they're great at grabbing objectives. We'll see how it plays out, though. They are flamer bait. 10 Neurotyrants right along here. I don't have my Neurotyrants painted, but the old Termagants on the older size bases work perfect for that. Again, want to try and put together a list here, give my opponent a good game to prep heading into the event. Hopefully he goes big there. And we can help that out. Then we got 5 Barbgaunts, of course. They are fantastic. 3 Zoanthrope units. Got one of these old fellas here. Got to paint him up. Bought him a long time ago. Just never really needed it. Having more, I always use those older ones as my Neurothroats. But now, Neurothroat's just part of the unit. So works out great. So I'm going to get that painted up in the very near future. Then I'll have 3 units of Zoes. And of course, we have the Exocrine. Oh, I love this model. Love the model, love the rules for it. Malceptor, of course, a Carnifex hanging out at the back there. He does have the Devourers and Crushing Claws. I just put the other talents on because my Devourers are somewhere up there and it looks cooler. So, but he does have the Devourers. We're going to go for just volume shots, see what happens. And then we have the Von Ryan Leaper. So really excited to give these guys some play. Just got them painted up. That's also the reason they made it into the list. But lots of spicy rules with them. The free heroic, fights first, and infiltrate as well. So I'm going to get them forward deployed. The mission actually kind of has them as a spicy contender for what we can do here. So really excited to see how they play out. And of course, 2 biovores here. So Spore Mines score secondaries, which is wild. I imagine that'll be changed. But if I was heading to the GT, I would surely be taking advantage of that, and it makes for some very tough plays in the secondary game. So we'll see how it plays out. That's my list here. We'll see how it does. Really excited about the prospects of it and the evolution of NIDS as we go into this new edition. As of right now, I definitely want one more view, but I'm not 100% sure yet where it's going to go. I like the build. I definitely want to try using more Leapers as well. They are fun as heck, and I'm really eager to see what happens with Old One Eye and his buddy. There are going to be some wicked ingress moves coming into play.
Okay, so the Zangors are they're basically here to just sit on objectives and get me Cabal points. If they're on an objective that I control, in my command phase I roll 1d6, and on a 4-up I get an extra Cabal point. So that's pretty much what they're here for. I've got a unit of 10 Rubric Flamers with Ahriman in them. So the Flamers are just strength 4, AP 1, 1 damage, ignores cover, and auto-hitting because they're Flamers. And then Ahriman's ability is he gives +1 to wound to the unit. And then Rubric's ability is reroll 1s to wound against targets anytime, and then reroll all wounds to get targets on objectives I don't control. So they're pretty good at that. All my sorcerer rubrics have the warp flame pistol, so they're also flamers, just strength 3 instead of strength 4. And then Arimon has a once per game ability to use a Cabal power for free. And then I've got another unit of rubrics over here, just a 5-man, just on their own. They're just objective play essentially. Bolters with a Soul Reaper cannon and Icon of Flame in this unit. The Icon of Flame this edition gives -1 AP on a wound roll of 6. And then the Soul Reaper cannons are strength 6, AP 1, 1 damage, 6 shots. And then I guess all the rubrics have the psychic power, what's it called? Don't remember what it does, what it's called, sorry, but it's 2 shots, hitting on 3, strength 4, AP 3, 1 damage, anti-infantry, devastating wounds, anti-infantry 4 up. So then I've got another unit of 5 rubrics with an Exalted Sorcerer on disc attached to them. These rubrics are the same as the last unit. They're both just bolters with the Soul Reaper cannon. The Exalted Sorcerer on disc, however, has an ability where at the end of my movement phase, I can select a unit that's visible within 18, and then on a 2-up, its normal moves, advanced moves, and charges are all halved. So I can basically just strand a unit every turn. Nice. If I roll a 1 on that, though, I just take D3 mortal wounds on the unit. And then he has his psychic power is just like D6 shots, strength 6, AP 1, 1 damage or something like that. Might be AP 2, but auto hitting. And I have another unit of 5 rubrics with bolters and a Soul Reaper cannon with the Infernal Master attached to them. He gives sustained hits to the unit, and his ability lets him reroll 1 hit roll, damage roll, or something else, don't remember exactly what it is, to a 6 every time, once per phase. And it has to be for him, can't do like army-wide. Then over here, I've got my 10 Terminators, Scarab Occult Terminators with a Thousand Suns Terminator Sorcerer in Terminator armor. The Scarab Occults this edition have a nice rule where if the strength of the weapon attacking them is higher than their toughness, they're -1 to wound. Other than that, they're essentially the same as last edition. The Sorcerer in Terminator armor has the Umbralific Crystal Enhancement, so he can once per game pick them up and teleport. Same thing as 9th edition. He also gives the entire unit lethal hits, and something else. His psychic power is anti-vehicle 4-up, anti-monster 4-up, and then I think it's flat 2 damage, 3 shots, strength 4, I believe, but AP 2, I think? Don't remember exactly, I'll have to double check on that. And then something I forgot to mention, the Thousand Sun Sorcerer on the Exalted Sorcerer on disc has an enhancement for every phase. I can reuse a Cabal ritual on him that's already been used for the phase. So moving over behind the Terminators, I've got a unit of 3 Zangor Enlightened. They just move 10 inches. They're cheap objective play. Have precision on their guns. And then next to them is the Mutant Vortex Beast. He moves 10 inches. He's like pretty tough. 5-up invuln, 5-up feel no pain. Has a nice gun. There's 3 profiles for it. One of them is just 1 shot, strength 18, AP 4, D6 plus 6 damage. The other one, he has a 2d6 flamer, and then I don't remember what the other profile is because I don't use it, but we'll see if it comes up in the game. And something I also forgot to mention about the Thousand Suns Terminator, or Sorcerer in Terminator armor, in the shooting phase he can select 1 enemy unit, and then my entire army gets to reroll 1s to hit against it. And then, last but not least, we've got Magnus. He's pretty beefy. Every battle round, at the beginning of the battle round, he can pick between 3 abilities. One of them is -1 incoming damage to himself. One of them gives a unit that he selects, an enemy unit that he selects, all their weapons become hazardous. And then the other one is +2 inches to move and a 6-inch aura for all Thousand Suns units. He also gives +1 to hit and +1 to wound to all psychic weapons for Thousand Suns units within 6 inches of himself. All of his shooting and combat is psychic itself as well, so he gives himself +1 to hit and wound. And that's essentially my list.
here is the battlefield now that we are playing on. We're using the UKTC 10th edition beta pack. It was used by the GT. We're playing round 1 from the event, which has Dawn of War deployment, so along here, and has Scorched Earth, which sees you able to score 10 primary points a turn from turn 2 onward, and the ability to actually destroy objectives as well. So that's kind of cool. Again, that was the one thing I think the Leapers would be kind of cool with. Technically, even the Swarmlords can do that, which is just wild. Wow. Crazy stuff. And then as well as Chilling Reign. So no special rules for that, obviously, for GT play and that kind of stuff. It makes sense. In terms of the terrain here, just exactly as you see it, there is no windows. All the windows are boarded up on these terrains. Mostly comes to play with towering and stuff like that, but I don't think we're worrying too much about it. So aside from that, just these are runes. Touch the footprint you're in. These ones, yeah, are just the old obscuring type jank, and yeah, that's it. So we're going to jump into deployment here and see how it looks. Folks, so we went ahead and deployed here. So it's Hammer and Anvil deployment. Tyranids over on this side. We are using the UKTC mission pack, round number 1. So it was Scorched Earth, Dawn of War, and Chilling Reign. I went with the fixed objectives. We're just going to give it a go. And just, again, helping him prepare for the GT to see what it's like against someone who's using fixed objectives. But generally speaking, my biovores should be able to achieve secondaries very easily, in theory. So we're going to go with that, and looking at my deployment, we got the Von Ryan's Leapers there. Carnifex and Old One Eye are going to be walking on the board, potentially rapid ingressing and coming over to maybe punch something. We got Malceptor, Gargoyles, Biovore, Zoanthropes, Exocrine. I still have my redeploy. I'm going to mention that too. I don't think, did I? I think I mentioned that in the list. In case I forgot, I have Alien Cunning, Deathleaper chilling in the middle, Barbgaunts here, Neurotyrant, Zoanthropes, Hive Tyrant, Neurotyrant. Over this way, the Swarmlord with his Zoes, Gargoyles, and then opposing them straight down the way here, we have big ol' Maggie, Flamer Dudes, the Sniper Discs. That's what I'm going to call them.
Yeah, fair enough.
What are they called? The
Zangor Enlightened.
Zangor Enlightened. There we go. I'm going to call them the Snipers, the old Sniper boys. The old Beast hanging out there by, there's 2 units of rubrics there, or just the one?
Yep.
Two.
2 units of 5 rubrics. One of them has the Infernal Master.
And then the Zangors on the front. And then I think there is 5 more boys back here with the Terminators.
Yep.
And they're there. Where's Ahriman at? Is he?
Ahriman.
Oh, he's right. He's with the Flamers.
Yeah,
Yes. All right, so that's it, folks. Going with tactical objectives on the Thousand Sun side. Just going to see how that plays out. They're definitely, I think it's my preferred way to play thus far. But again, with the biovores being cheeky, we're going to try it out. Just, again, see what happens here. So I'm going to roll off first turn. We got the Basement Wargaming dice. First turn, do you want first turn?
No.
Yeah, I don't want it either, because
Not on this one.
I don't think either of us is going to shoot anything. And then I also have my redeploy, so if he gets first turn, I can kind of redeploy, and then those Terminators, if they choose to teleport, that is. Okay, yeah. Nobody wants first turn here, so maybe dice, don't let me down. Yeah, it's mid. Okay, so we're going first. All right, cool. Not too bad.
Nice.
All right,
Save
let's... and then I guess the nice thing for you is you don't generate objectives as well, so I also don't know what you're up to. So yeah, kind of a mixed scenario there, but we're going to jump into turn 1 Tyrant. Folks, movement is done. Like we said, it's going to be probably a quiet first turn. However, the Exocrine moved up. We're going to just dump some shots down at the Terminators, maybe the Marines, actually probably the Terminators. Yeah, we'll do them. Over this way, everyone's just kind of moving forward, getting positioned. The Leapers set up to go in and hopefully eat some Zangors and help get me some behind enemy lines points for sure. Biovores have been screened out. However, I will be able to get homers done, which is nice at least. And then over this way, this group's just sticking together. I think it's going to be kind of a back and forth here of who's going to come out first and who's going to spring whatever little trap we've got going. And then the Hive Tyrant over here just staying back with his 12-inch aura around these lads there. But that's it. We're going to jump into shooting, and then that'll be on the turn. Folks, so shooting done as predicted, kind of a slow start, but I think that's going to be the way of this particular terrain setup and a lot of the lists and everything out there. But I killed 2 of them, was it?
2.
Yep, 2 of those guys. One of them with the biovore. I mixed up the homers. I thought you had to be within 6 of that, but 6 of the center. But deathleaper got it done. Couldn't get in with the mines, but leapers, thank you. I keep wanting to call them lictors, but no, they're leapers. They're about to charge into the Zangors, get me behind enemy lines at least for that. So still scoring, but we'll jump into the fight and come back. So Tyranid turn done. Not a bad start. The leapers came in here, diced up those guys quite well. The sustained hit's actually coming out huge. So they're dead. I use my overrun and move them over to just kind of block the mutilator in, and that's it for the turn. So scoring 3 for the center, 3 for behind enemy lines. We're going to jump into 1,000 Suns. Turn number 1. Folks, Shadow in the War popped off. It paid off big time. Over this way, Battle Shock the Terminators, because I was, I shouldn't say low-key, I was terrified of their outputs. I want to keep the exocrine alive. So they're hiding, tactically repositioning, because Shadow in the War went off. They got other guys back there battle shocked. The 5 right there, battle shocked. Yeah, on that side. And then were the snipers battle shocked too?
Yes, they're
yes. So yeah,
well.
Coming in hot with that. So that's kind of a big deal here. What did you draw? You drew behind enemy. You had the same space to behind enemy lines that homers.
Deploy teleport homers.
Yeah. So they're gonna see what they can do with that. And then these guys moving, advancing up there. So that's it. We're gonna jump into a little bit of shooting, I think, coming my way, and then after that, we're gonna jump into. I don't think there'll be any fighting potentially. I mean, he hopes there's not, because that means the leapers will be dead. So let's go. All right, folks. So that is the end of the turn here. So definitely messed with the game plan for the 1,000 Suns, slowed them down for the turn at least. Over this way, that sorcerer uses Cabal thing and got to move again after slowing my exocrine down just a wee bit. So don't like that. Magnus over here completing homers in the middle, taking care of that. Are you going to keep behind enemy lines?
No, I'm discarding.
Discarding. It's getting a CP. Spicy. It's actually such a cool rule. Then these guys over here just hanging about. The leapers as well. That's the story. Those guys firing, killing that spore mine over there. Leapers actually withered a bit of a story. It took the Mauler Fiend to finish them off, and even then, excuse me. Actually, no, they were dead for sure. But they definitely did their job, held you back there. So for 75 points, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm saying it's good because I feel good. With them. Normally my stuff just dies. That was a Gene Stealers. That would have been like 200 points gone.
Yeah.
At 75, we'll do it again. All right, folks, let's jump into turn 2 Tyranid. All right, folks, the movement done for the Tyranid. So over this way, old One Eye and his friend have arrived. Don't have anything to shoot, though, which is unfortunate, but can't complain. We're going to make that charge. I'm going to say that confidently. Gargoyle is jumping ahead here, stealing that objective, so trying to shut down primaries a bit. Got Zone Thropes, Maleceptor, an exocrine across the way ready to shoot at Magnus, because I don't have anything else to shoot at. Conveniently hiding everything. Barbgaunts staying still because there's nothing to shoot. Then over this way, the Gargoyles moved ahead there in advance. All they have to do is shoot Magnus or the guys at the back, and they just jump in the deployment. Because if not, behind enemy lines, shut down once again. Then over here, these dirty guys back here, slowing down my exocrine. Had my exocrine been able to move again, it would have just walked up, killed some more Terminators. But alas, we're going to maybe kill Magnus or hurt him. We'll see. He is too tough for my liking. So we're going to jump into shooting, and we'll see how it looks. All right, so things didn't go that great against Magnus. Biovores went off. Back there, Biovores killing off 2 guys, 2.5 guys, was it?
2.5, yeah.
2.5, yeah, so doing really well over there. Killed another guy over there. Would have killed another one, but passed the save. Then we come over here. So, exocrine hit, did 2 damage to him. What's he at right now? 13?
13.
Oh, man. Can you regenerate wounds on him?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Not anymore.
So that doesn't sting as much. So the Maleceptor whiffed hard. First set of Zone Thropes came through. Did, I think, 2 damage to him. I rolled a 3. Went for the reroll, rolled a 1. Next group came through with 3 wounds going through, and then he made all 4 of his invols. And then just to make myself cry, I rolled the damage, and it would have killed him. So all good. Now we're going to have a charge coming up. Old One Eye and his friend. I make this charge, so I think this turn as we're going to call it a victory. So I'm going to roll it on camera here. Ugh. Not nervous. All right, so we're going to roll it up. Come on, Old One Eye. You the man. There it is.
There you go.
The
perfect 9.
It's a win again. All right, we're gonna come back out, folks. So I feel kind of better. We made the charge. I killed off. What was it? 6 of those guys. 7 of them. Okay, not bad. Not bad. So they will be taking a battle shock thing. So that's kind of cool. But all said and done, getting behind enemy lines for 3, getting 3 for homers and Magnus, getting away with it this turn. So let's jump into Thousand Suns turn 2. They are in a great spot right now. I guess if you get some good objectives, I think you're going to swing ahead with the game. If the luck is with me there, I think I will be okay. We'll see. Turn 2. All right, folks, so movement done. Magnus moving to the middle. For objectives, we got, investigate signals and cleanse. So 2 objectives that should be able to be taken care of here. In theory, signal's already going to be done, but then cleanse. I think, does Magnus have to do that?
I'm not
or is it?
cleanse.
Oh, you're not going to do it? No, you sure? Do it.
Cleanse is not happening.
Over this way, the Terminator's coming forward. Exocrine getting slowed again by that dubious sorcerer. I keep wanting to say Mauler Fiend. Vortex Beast coming over, not doing any mortal slam, but finally getting able to get positioned. And that's it. Armand stayed still, yes?
Yeah, did not.
With the gang over there. So that's it. We're going to jump into shooting, and hopefully it goes as well as it does for him as it did for me. It's the last turn, but we'll come back. All right, folks, so shooting is done. So spending some CP over this way to get these guys all psychic and then rerolling hits and wounds. Then Swarmlord's ability came in to make the reroll hits and wounds, cost an extra CB, thus shutting Magnus down. So Swarmlord's biding his time. However, he has dropped down to 5 wounds. Used Feel No Pain on him, and it made all the difference because he would have been cooked otherwise. Then over this way, Gargoyles down to 4 there, so not great. Over this way, Gargoyles actually did well against Magnus. I think I lost 3 of them. But then the Zoanthropes, then they felt the wrath of Magnus, and they got obliterated, so they're gone. But that's it. I think a couple charges going to come up, and we're going to end the turn for thousands of. Folks, the turn is done. All said and done, I think we got ourselves a nice tight game here. So hopefully, again, it's going to be down to the wire like that last game we had was phenomenal. Magnus came in, dropped him down to 6, and then swinging back. Magnus is just a little too tough for my liking. I'm going to go over here. Well, actually, I don't want to go over here because my Gargoyles are dead, so kind of sad there. Scoring, investigate, signals, and then you discarded cleanse, so getting a CP. What's the score at right now? It's pretty close.
It is at 32 for you, 22 for me. So it's a 10-point difference. It's still very, very swimmable.
Yep. So nice. The big point was denying some secondaries there, but yeah, we'll see if we can keep that. Or sorry, primaries. We'll see if we can keep that up. But let's jump into turn number 3 for the Tyranids. Folks, so movement done. Over this way, carnifex and Old One Eye coming forward. I brought the Stinking Devours, and we're going to get some use out of it. We're going to shoot those guys, hopefully get rid of them, or maybe the Gargoyles will do it for me, and then I can shoot there. We'll see. And the Gargoyles, I guess mention them, jumping back here. And then in the middle here, we're banking, again, big bank on Malceptor Living. Hopefully we can hurt Magnus a bit. We're going to tee up into these Terminators. If we can get rid of them and keep denying primer, I think that's how we're going to stay in this game. It's no neck and neck, good round either way. So we'll jump into shooting for the Tyranids. Let's see how. Folks, so shooting is done. So like I said, we got ourselves a good game here. The chicken bird, disc birds are gone. Spore mine finally landed in over there, and then getting me deploy or. Homers back there, and Gargoyles, that gives me my full points for my secondaries. Magnus lost 2 wounds, and then you negated it. I think that's what it was. Yeah, what did you do? Did you reroll? You had a whole bunch of defensive stuff. Anyway,
yeah.
The moral of the story there, defensive stuff happened. Then over this way, did a huge chunk to the Terminators, 3 in the Sorcerer left, and that's it. And they're also slowed now from my dudes. So now we got some charges about to go down. We'll come back after. All right, folks. So if you're a Tyranid fan, I'm failing you here. So Malceptor was taken out by Magnus. I did get 1 wound through, but he used his 1 CP he had to turn it to 0. Ugh, rotten strat. And then he attacked back, and I used my free Feel No Pain. I remember this turn. Oh, and I failed the exact number of saves, so he died to a wound. And the Exocrine over here died to 2 wound thanks to mortals again. So not good. You do have a battle shock test for them, but it doesn't matter at this point with Magnus running amok over there. However, we'll celebrate the small victories, and we wiped our off the face of the earth with Old One Eye. So it's not looking good, Tyranid fans, but we'll come into turn number 3 for Thousand Suns. Movement is done for the Thousand Suns. Objective-wise, you drew Assassinate, and what was the other one? Secure No Man's Land?
Secure No Man's Land.
Yeah, so I think that one is achieved already, based off Magnus living, which I think he's pretty confident about. Over this way, the Zoanthropes as well, being engaged by those lads, controlling that objective. So that's pretty much it with movement. The Vortex Beast coming about that side, and then these guys coming over to hopefully try and take care of the Gargoyle Menace that is scoring me a nice tidbit of points. So let's jump into shooting and come back. All right, folks, so that is the end of the turn here. So my Zoanthropes got melted. He went for the, what was it, Doombolt? Went for the Hail Mary. That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
this is Doombolt. Hail Mary. Did 8 mortals. I couldn't even use my Feel No Pain because it was not being the target of a shooting attack. Brutal. And then over this way, this Zoanthrope living. And then this objective being raised because they got pistols. So they're shooting the ground apart while they chip up that Zoanthrope. And what is it? Oh, yeah, he double moved. And killed, what did he do? He killed one of those two. Yeah, killed one of them, injured one. Then the Gargoyles back there, staying alive. doing the work. Doing the Hive Mind's work right there. So we're going to jump into Tyranids, turn number 4. All right, folks, so movement's done for the Tyranids. Barbgaunts moving over this way, so still shoot at the Terminators. Hopefully kill off one here, get real lucky, and slow them down at least. So probably going to teleport, but I also just want to block him. That is the big thing. Neurogaunt staying here, the Neurotyrant coming over, along with the Tyrant, along with Swarmlord. We are going to try and kill Magnus. I don't know if you've noticed, especially with these carnifex coming in with Old One Eye. If they can make it, I feel good. If not, I do not feel so good. However, the Gargoyle is fully regenerated and have stolen that backfill objective. The big story is if I kill Magnus, I think the Tyranids are securely back in the game here because you will have no primary with that objective being raised up. And that Zoanthrope hightailing it over there because he doesn't want to die. And then Spore Mine back here, staying here. I'm going to fire one more in, get deploy homers and behind enemy lines since those Gargoyles zippity zipped back there. So let's jump into shooting. Hopefully we can get it done and hurt him at least a tiny bit. So what a great game we have here. So Magnus dead. You can tell by my cheery tone now. He's been such a pain this game. But honestly, he tanked a ton. Old One Eye dropped him down to 3. Then the Carnifex finished him off, thankfully. Tons of defensive bonuses coming in there. But that's it for the turn. So clearing him, I think, should swing the game back to the Tyranids here. I really think it came down to if Magnus lived, I think the Thousand Suns 100% had the game. Now I think the Tyranids on primary are going to sweep ahead a little bit. But let's jump into turn number 4, Thousand Suns. All right, folks, so movement done for the Thousand Suns. Over this way, these guys teleporting over there. No battle shock for them. I guess they got that one shot from the warp, and that was it. Then the guys spreading out at the back to get ready to take care of the Gargoyles. Objective-wise, getting storm hostile objectives, so I got to kill my Gargoyles. Has to. And then engaging our fronts, which it's going to get for at 3/4, and then depending on what happens here, should be able to get it, no problem. But yeah, let's jump into shooting, and we'll come back probably at the end of the turn. It should be all right, folks. So that is the end of the Thousand Suns turn. So these guys are going to burn this objective because I am definitely ahead in primary as of right now. Over this way, the Beast took out my Barbgaunts. I used Feel No Pain to try to have them live. In hindsight, I probably should have just let them stay alive because then it would have been harder for him to get in for the engage. But all said and done, not too bad. We're going to jump into Tyranid's turn number 5 now. Let's see how this game looks. All right, folks, so that is the end of the game here. So we just played out the Tyranid's turn here. These guys took out the Terminators, and then deathleaper jumped over to raise that. 2 Spore Mines living back there, getting those secondaries done. Again, super dirty. I don't expect that to last. But again, I'm trying to give a good prep game for the event coming up. So all said and done, it was, what was it, 91? 91 to
91-61.
91-61, all said and done. So just unfortunately, I think a few secondaries that came up that were kind of hard to get. Again, we were just talking. I think if Magnus had have lived there, I think it was your game if he had stayed alive, because I think he would have trounced Old One Eye and his bro there. They had no involts too, so you would have
just turn off their save and just
you would obliterate them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, then, folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll keep the 10th edition battle reports coming. Again, our community has grown significantly here, so there's going to be all kinds of new factions on here, all kinds of different games, and hopefully we'll be traveling to other folks' places as well to get some away games. So thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks to our patrons, Teos and Sarlinked.